In this video, I'm going to show you how to instantly improve circulation in your arms. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over 3 easy ways to instantly improve blood flow and circulation in the arms. A note about these exercises, each one works just a little bit differently. To get the best results, go through them all. Use what works best for you. With that being said, let's get started. So here's a really easy way to instantly improve circulation through our arms, hands, and fingers. For this method, we can use several different things. The first being a soft, round object. This is a racquetball. It's very similar to a handball. They're a little bit easier to use versus something like a tennis ball because they have a little bit more grip, but you can definitely use a tennis ball. The next being a peanut massage tool. It looks just like a peanut. A lot of people like using these because they have bumps on them, so as you do this self-massage, you're going to be able to dig into those muscles just a little bit more. Again, these are pretty inexpensive. You should be able to find these locally at any sporting goods department. If you would like to get one online, I will leave a link in this video's comment section and description, but this is my favorite method. It's a homemade peanut tool. Take 2 tennis balls, place them in a large sock, twist the end right here, put a knot right here at the end of the sock, and that way you have what is called the $2 muscle fix. Well, with inflation, it actually might be closer to $3 to $4 now, but I'm going to show you here in just a second why this one right here is a little bit easier and better to use than the fancy one. So take whatever you're using and place it right on a table, desk. You could probably even do this in bed. We're going to start by focusing on our fingers, working down into the palm, wrist, forearm, all the way up to the shoulder. I like to start with my palm facing down and just curling my fingers around the peanut tool like this, and just roll gently like this, up and down. You want to apply enough pressure in there where it's going to be a comfortable self-massage but not causing any discomfort. The great part with the peanut tool is it has a little bit of a groove right here, so you can start to focus on one little spot at a time. So put your thumb right into the groove and then just start to roll up and down, focusing on every single angle. You want to target all of the soft tissue as much as possible because that will give you better results and hopefully improve blood flow. So then move on to your index finger and repeat all the way down to your pinky finger. From there, I just roll into my palm all the way into my wrist. Again, just trying to focus on as many different areas as possible. As you do this, you're probably going to find that one certain spot is just really achy, tight, maybe even painful. Like let's say right here over my palm. So at that point, I want to stop over that spot and do this over and over again, rolling over it until everything is nice and loose, or until I'm not getting any more improvement. Treat that like your weak link. So you're then going to flip your hand over like a pancake and then repeat this on the back side of your hand, moving into the wrist and then moving into the forearm all the way up to the elbow. For the top part of the forearm right here and also into the top part of your arm, it's probably going to be pretty tricky to do this rolling on a table, so you can just grab the peanut tool and do this manually. And the reason why I like using this method again more than the other one is because not only can you roll up and down, but you can also roll side to side, so you almost get like a 360-degree movement with it. So you can roll up like this, you can also roll side to side. So I would also experiment with doing circular motions like this with your arm, because we're just trying to attack those muscle fibers with as many different movements as possible to address tightness and knock that out, because again, it's only going to help improve circulation. So move into the bicep right here, and you can actually do a little bit of a curling motion to activate that a little bit more, and then also focus on the back side of the arm into the tricep and then into the shoulder. So after everything is nice and loose, or if you do have certain spots that are still pretty tight and don't want to release, this is how we can take it to the next level by putting some more motions in through our wrist, elbow, and even our shoulder to activate these muscles so we can dig into them just a little bit more. So I would also try to put the wrist into as many motions as possible. What you can do while doing this is bring the wrist down. You can also bring the wrist up like this. I would also do a hitchhiker sign, so kind of just putting my thumb up towards the ceiling, bringing my hand down like this, and then also bringing my thumb up towards the ceiling. The nice part with doing the hitchhiker sign, if you bring it up like this, it's going to activate a muscle right here called the brachioradialis, which is a big instigator of forearm pain. So give that a try and really dig into this area of the forearm. You can also turn your elbow in while doing this and then also out. I would try to put your hand, your fingers, elbow, wrist through as many different motions as possible and identify any spot that needs it just a little bit more. So here's a really easy exercise that you can use throughout the day that's pretty much going to target everything from our neck into our shoulders, into our arms, down towards the fingertips. For this one, I like to do it seated with very good upright posture. Let's start off by targeting our fingers and then working up towards our neck. So put your arms out in front of you, have your elbows straight. We're going to start with what are called piano fingers. So imagine a keyboard in front of you. You're just going to move your fingers up and down like this. As you do this, I would experiment with the speed, so you can do it really quickly. You can also do it slow. The goal is to activate the muscles in our hands into our forearms. So any movement that just feels like it's just the most challenging is really activating those muscles. At that point, I would go with that. So switch up the speed as much as you can. I like to do this roughly for about 10 seconds, but with all of these movements, if you feel like they're really addressing tightness or it's the movement that's just offering you the most amount of relief, you can always spend more time doing it and throwing as many repetitions in as you like. So next we're going to focus a little bit more into the hands. For this one, we're just going to close it like this and then open it. Again, you can do them quick. You can also do them slow. Experiment with it. I would just try to do this roughly about 10 times. From here, we're going to move into our wrists. For this one, close your hands like this and do big, wide circles with your wrists, as big of a circle as you can do. And it doesn't matter what direction you start with. You can go counterclockwise or clockwise. Do it 5 times in one direction and then switch it up in the other direction to target the muscles just a little bit more. So let's move now into our forearm and our elbow. For this one, arms out in front of us again. We're going to do a hitchhiker sign, thumbs up towards the ceiling. You're going to slowly turn your thumbs downward like this, really focusing on moving through your elbows and through your shoulders. You should feel a lot of fire in that area. When you can't go down any further, you're going to hold this for about 3 seconds, and then you're going to slowly come back up like this and then turn your thumbs outward. Again, it'll hit the muscles just a little bit differently. 3-second hold, and you want to do this nice and slowly for about 5 times in both directions. Next, we're going to move into the bicep and the tricep. So for this one, I like to bend my elbows roughly at 90 degrees, have my palms facing towards the ceiling. What you want to do to start off with is just kind of curling, but tightening the bicep like this, and then slowly pressing your hands up towards your chest. Again, focusing on trying to activate those biceps. You're just going to come up slowly. When you're all the way towards the top, what you're going to do is then slowly turn your hands so your palms are facing towards the floor. And now what you're going to do is press down while tightening the back side of your arm into the triceps. So again, we're pressing up like this for the biceps and then pressing down for the triceps, just nice and slowly for about 5 times in both directions. Lastly, we're going to focus a little bit more into the shoulders, side of the neck right here, especially with the trapezius muscle. So for this one, we're just going to bring our shoulder blades back a little bit, get a little bit of a chest stretch going, and try to pinch those shoulder blades in the back too. And then you're going to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears as much as you can. In this position, you should feel the muscles around the shoulders into the neck start to fire. You're going to hold this position, and what you're going to do is tilt your head towards one side. So bring your ear towards your shoulder. You should feel a really good stretch into the neck. Hold this for a second or two, and then you're just going to repeat on the other side. So do this nice and slowly for 5 times in both directions. The last movement, we're going to hold this shrugging motion, but we're going to slowly rotate and turn to look over one shoulder. Hits the neck just a little bit differently. When you can't go any further, hold this for a second or two and then repeat on the other side. Again, do this 5 times in both directions. But it's a really good exercise that's going to target everything from the neck all the way down to the fingertips. Go through all of the movements. If any of them feel like they're helping you out a little bit more at that point, throw more repetitions in. So one of the absolute best ways to improve blood flow and circulation is through resistance strengthening exercises. Great for the heart, great for the cardiovascular system. Here's a really easy exercise that you can do pretty much anytime, anywhere, including at work. So there's no no excuse not to do this. We're going to go next to a wall or a door. Start facing it and get pretty close to it. You want your legs roughly hip width apart. Place all of your body weight onto your heels. We're also going to tighten or brace our core muscles. Imagine somebody trying to poke you in your stomach. You know how you tighten up? Try to mimic that during this exercise. It'll help protect the back. The hands are going to go right on the door. You want them roughly shoulder width and also shoulder level. You're going to keep your back and body as straight as possible, and you're just going to slowly lower your body weight towards the door. But the key is resist against that with your arm strength. So go down slowly, kind of like taking your nose towards the door, and then press up just like this, again using your arm strength. You want to do this over and over again for roughly 40 to 60 repetitions. And before you have a heart attack because you just heard 40 times, this is pretty easy. I think that most people will be able to do this with no problem. But if this is pretty challenging, do the best you can. Hopefully over time, you will gain strength to be able to hit 40 to 60 reps. For most people, this is not going to be overly challenging. So to make it harder, just space your feet further away from that wall or the door. The further that your feet are out, the harder this will be. So progress into it as much as you can. Always challenge yourself as much as you can. So if it does feel like this is really easy, there's no problem actually just doing a regular push-up on a floor. I would recommend it. Challenge those muscles as much as you can because it's only going to make the heart stronger and improve blood flow through improving the cardiovascular system. So to take this one to the next level, we can change the placement of our hands. So instead of doing shoulder width, go wider out like this and then give that a try. You're going to notice that it hits the chest a little bit more. So throw some repetitions in doing that. You can also do a narrow grip. So going in a little bit more than shoulder width. This one is going to target the arms a little bit more. So if you're really focused on toning the arms, especially the triceps right here, give this one a try, but go through all of those movements. If one works out a little bit better for you, at that point, just throw some more repetitions in and progress into this as much as you can by taking your feet out or doing a full push-up. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.